Well, I, for one, am having a great start to my Sunday. I hope you guys are as well. I'm sure looking at the charts right now, you're loving what you're seeing. We've had a great bounce back morning so far. We bucked a trend that has been very consistent over the course of the last week or 10 days or so. And right now, we may have just gotten a hint about what the market wants to do in the coming week. We'll talk about that. We need to talk about this $1.6 billion here as well, and a couple dates that everybody needs to be aware of. So if you guys are new or haven't already, show your support for the channel down below, hit that subscribe button, that bell, it's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So this is exactly why I've said many times that you don't get too high, you don't get too low, you leave emotion on the sidelines, because what we saw was a complete 180 from yesterday. The market flipped overnight, got extremely bullish. We went on a big run in terms of ADA here. You guys can see this is even with us coming down just over the last several hours here. But we actually ran all the way back above 88 cents. And what this was coming off of was a BTC all-time high push. Yes, for those that missed it, BTC did in fact set a new all-time high. That all-time high is now oh gosh, if I can get this candle, 125, 686. So that is a very strong Sunday move. And right now, what we've been getting across the crypto space are big short liquidations, and we're getting a lot of volume. In fact, the volume across the market right now is typical of what we've been seeing over the course of the week, $173 billion. And just for a little context here, the surge that we saw just from late yesterday to now, we were down to $118 billion. Okay. That's weekend volume. So we went from weekend volume to weekday volume without institutional money and other enterprise players messing around in the market. And that's very promising because, again, we may have just gotten a hint of what the market wants to do as we go through the week. Now, again, I'm not getting ahead of myself. I'm not, rejoicing I guess I'm happy, right? But I'm not saying that, this is something that for sure has to continue. I will say that right now, it looks like ADA is building a little bit of a descending wedge. So just something to be cognizant of here. The target for this is all the way down around 82 cents or so. Coincidentally enough, if we do see us just kind of chopping around here up in these higher ranges, you could see that 100-day moving average kind of creep up right to the point of that. So maybe that's what we do as we move through this week. Maybe we chop around, we come down to this corner, and that's the next moment where the market sends. Obviously, this isn't a guarantee or financial advice or anything like that. And what I'll say here is that if we continue to see what we have seen over the course of this last week, if we continue to see what we're seeing today in the markets, that may not even matter. We may just blow through this thing and start opening up the week on a much bigger note. And what I have to mention here is over the course of the last 7 days, we have actually seen $1.6 billion in shorts. And what's very interesting about this is that even as we've gone on this nice rally over the last 12 hours here, nice bounce off, a nice structural bounce, frankly, off of all of our moving averages, which is great here, shorts just continue to open up positions. In fact, for ADA alone, we've seen us open interest run up to $1.62 billion. We've seen a 7.66% increase in open interest. Guys, this is like all on the short side. There's over 3% imbalance to the short side right now. They're still trying to suppress the market. It's kind of like a drug, okay? They are so convinced that the market is going to drop down that they keep trying to, how you try to catch a falling knife to the downside, right? They're trying to suppress a rocket that's running up, okay? And think about this. We haven't even had no institutional money over the course of the weekend. We've had some of the largest weeks of institutional accumulation, or we have one of the largest weeks of institutional accumulation just this last week alone. We're probably going to have Michael Saylor buying on Monday. I mean, there's a lot of things that right now are giving the market a lot of wind in its sails. All right. Now, BTC dominance, after running all the way up to about 59.3%, did get a little pushback down to that 50-day moving average. We could obviously see this come back down. I know some people are still calling for about 60%. That's still within the range here. We're still floating above that 20-day moving average, something to definitely pay attention to there. Now, something that we do need to pay attention to in the coming probably 10 days or so are the government shutdown. There hasn't been much update coming from there, but there are a couple dates that we do need to pay attention to. For example, the next federal worker pay date is October 10th. So you might start to see a little bit of push to try to get something done and get this government shutdown ended by that point. If that doesn't happen, October 15th is the next military pay date. So sometime in basically these next 10 days, we're probably going to hear about a push to try to get this shutdown resolved. And we're going to obviously see what the market decides to do with that. The market, obviously in October here, has done well. We've had a nice pump. Hopefully it decides to continue. But that's kind of where we're at right now. I will say we do actually have a CPI report on the 15th. So maybe that's where they try to get it all done so they can get these government reports out. Obviously, a jobs report will come out eventually here as well. But yeah, this weekend, I'm just looking for some continuity. I'm looking for U.S. money to do the same thing as overseas money. We obviously don't want to get too extended here. We don't want to open up a major CME gap. Actually, it's pretty nice that BTC came down off of this move because, again, you know, we might be opening up a CME gap here. Just be aware of that, okay? Just pay attention. 123,635. We're probably gonna have a CME gap to the upside now. Just kind of looking at this, but love what I'm seeing. Hope it continues. Let me know your thoughts below. Where do you think things are gonna head as the weekend progresses? But have a great day. Show your love. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.